Hello friends, today is October 10th, 2022, and I want to give you a quick update on what is going on in Ukraine. Unfortunately, it has been a bloody day here in Ukraine. We are here in Odessa, and thankfully we are safe. Actually, it's been relatively calm here, surprisingly, but that's not the case in many other cities throughout Ukraine. So we woke up to the news today that Russia had begun a massive missile attack on Ukraine, and most of this happened in the morning, early morning hours to mid-morning Ukraine time, and somewhere I think I read 83 missiles have been launched today, which is probably a record. I'm not sure how many were launched the first day of the invasion on February 24th, but probably a few more that first day. I'd have to look it up. But about 83 missiles were launched today. Of those 83, the Ukrainian forces were able to take down 43 of them, or just over 40. So about half of them. Unfortunately, half of them did make it to their targets. Most of these are guided missiles, like the Caliber missile or the X-101, or I think they have the X-59. And these should be fairly accurate pinpoint missiles, which kind of makes you wonder sometimes because of some of the places that they landed, like in a child's playground, children's playground, or in a park. But unfortunately, there was quite a few of these missiles that landed and hit their mark today. We were actually in Kyiv last week, and we just left there a few days ago. Then we went to Cherkasy. Today we just came back to Odessa, so all this news kind of came in as we got up this morning, got ready to come to Odessa. So here's a list of some of the cities that were hit today: Kyiv, Zhytomyr, Khmelnytsky, Ternopil, Lviv, Kremenchug, Rivne region, Kharkiv, Konotop, Dnipro, Ivano-Frankivsk region, Zaporizhia region, Kryvyi Rog. It also says Odessa. It says the city of Odessa. I'm not exactly sure where that was. It's not near where we are in Odessa. Khmelnytskaya region and Kievograd region. So that's quite a long list. And, I think that, well, in addition to the missiles, there were also a number of drones that attacked. I think there were drones that came from Belarus and maybe some other areas. So why did all this happen? Most likely a lot of this happened for two reasons. One, because of Ukrainian success in damaging the Crimea-Russia bridge, which happened just 2 days ago. And there's significant damage to the bridge, which will significantly hinder Russia's ability to get arms and supplies into the Crimea Peninsula. They didn't completely take the bridge out. It is still somewhat functional, but definitely it is slowing things down a lot. And that was unexpected, although we'd all been waiting for it, but I think it was kind of unexpected that Ukrainian forces would be able to do that. We still don't even know exactly what technology or what missiles or how they actually did that. So unfortunately, that looks like that made Putin and Russia upset, and they got their revenge by hitting, it just boggles my mind every time, by hitting really mainly civilian targets. And recently there's been so many targets that have been hit, especially in Zaporizhia, in some of those areas that are on the front lines of the war, that I don't even post a lot of those, because it's just like every day it's almost the same thing. But this is a little bit different because it was deeper into Ukrainian territory. So what does this mean for Ukraine? Well, one thing it means is that a lot of, I think 4 regions of Ukraine have severe power outages right now. That especially affects Lviv in western Ukraine and some other territories. We have our power on here, as you can see, but we have been asked to conserve power, especially in the evening. So we just try to, keep lights off, only use like one light in a room where we are, and we expect that this difficulty with power is probably going to get worse as we get into the winter, because generally in the winter months, people use more power. In 2014, we had a similar problem when the war started then, and that was at a much smaller scale, and we had rolling power outages, 2 hours at a time. I think we had twice a day we had our power off for 2 hours. So definitely it's going to affect the power grid in Ukraine. Hopefully they can find some fixes, or maybe get power from European Union. I know that as of tomorrow, Ukraine said it's not going to be supplying any more power to the European Union, and so European Union is already going to be seeing some real effects of this war outside of Ukraine. Also, I think it means that we are going to see some cold winters, and one of the places they hit in Kyiv was a heating, I don't know what they call it, heating factory. It's in Ukraine they have the Soviet system where you have these large stacks that heat portions of the city. And that's the same for us here. So I think that definitely we're going to see some pretty cold winter indoors in many places. So energy is going to be greatly affected. But beyond that, I think there's just this kind of attack strengthens Ukraine's resolve to just free up as quickly as possible all of Ukrainian territory, eastern Ukraine, southern Ukraine, Crimea, and everywhere. So that's the quick update. Thankfully, we are safe. Appreciate your continued prayers for us.